The trick-or-treat murder, 1957 Los Angeles, California, Halloween night in Los Angeles. 1957. The air was cool, the streets glittered with orange lights and laughter. Children darted between houses, their laughter echoing like ghostly bells through the suburban calm. But behind one door, on a quiet cul-de-sac, something truly sinister waited. Peter Fabiano, a well-known hairstylist in the neighborhood, had just finished closing up his salon. At 35, he had built a comfortable life with his wife, Betty. The two were known to throw parties, socialize often, and seemed, at least from the outside, to be the perfect post-war couple. But beneath the polished smiles and manicured image, something was deeply wrong. Earlier that year, Betty had grown close to another woman named Joan Rabel, a photographer with a sharp mind and an even sharper temper. Rumors swirled that the two shared more than friendship, and that Peter had demanded Betty end the relationship. She did, at least publicly, but resentment and jealousy festered in the dark. As Halloween approached, Joan's anger took a chilling shape. She convinced her friend Goldine Pizer, a quiet woman with no criminal past, to help her teach Peter a lesson. What that meant, Goldine didn't fully understand her. Maybe she refused to. Joan was persuasive, manipulative, and obsessed. On the night of October 31st, while families passed out candy and children ran door to door, Joan and Goldine sat in a parked car near the Fabiano residence. Goldine wore a cheap rubber mask and gloves. In her lap a revolver, Joan handed it to her, whispering, "This is the only way to make things right." Just before midnight, the doorbell rang. Peter, already in bed, sighed as he got up. Thinking it was one last trick, he grabbed the candy bowl, opened the door and froze. A figure stood before him, small, silent, wearing a grotesque mask. The person didn't speak. No trick-or-treat. No sound at all. Then a flash. A single gunshot tore through the quiet night. Peter collapsed instantly, the candy spilling across the doorstep. Bright wrappers glistening in the porch light like drops of blood. Neighbors rushed out. Betty screamed. The masked killer fled into the darkness, leaving behind chaos and confusion. Peter Fabiano was pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital. For weeks, police were baffled. There were no clear suspects, no motive that made sense, but whispers started to spread. A strange car had been seen near the house that night, a masked figure, and soon, detectives traced the weapon back to Goldine Pizer, who, overwhelmed by guilt, confessed everything. She told them the truth. She'd been manipulated by Joan Rabel. Who had convinced her that Peter was cruel, that he deserved it, and that Betty would finally be free? When questioned, Betty Fabiano broke down. Her involvement was undeniable. She had known Joan planned to take care of Peter, but she never stopped it. The case became known across California as the trick-or-treat murder. Newspapers printed the photo of Peter's front porch still littered with candy wrappers and called it a true Halloween tragedy. Goldine and Joan were both sentenced to prison, though neither served more than a few years. Betty disappeared from public life afterward, forever haunted by the night her secrets came knocking at her own door. And each Halloween since, locals say that quiet street in Los Angeles seems a little colder. Some claim they still hear the doorbell ring, followed by a single gunshot and the faint rustle of candy tumbling to the ground.